Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alex. I make book and lifestyle and all different kinds of content. Welcome in. In today's video, get ready with me whilst I talk all about books. Without further ado, let's start chatting. Okay, so I wanted to talk through all the books that I'm reading and have read. I don't even know the last time that I updated you on my last book read. However, I'm assuming it was maybe around the time of Purple Hibiscus.
This was a 5-star read. It's 307 pages. It is worth every single page. I could have read more, but I honestly didn't want to because it was just wrapped up so well.
First time caller starting The Well of Ascension. So update. I've read The Well of Ascension. I've read First Time Caller. I've read Purple Hibiscus. I've also finished a whole series and I finished a standalone and picked up another book and started another series. So quite a bit to update you on, but let us get started with at least putting my hair up so I don't look this crazy, and let's get started with my makeup because we have about an hour until I'm due to leave to get my bus to go to Cheltenham and hang out with the girls for the day. So let's tie up the hair so I don't look as crazy, and we'll do my hair as like a final step. It's not going to be a lot of makeup, so hopefully we're not going to be here too long. This is a look, if I do say so myself. Pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about was all of the books I've gotten up to since I last updated you. Kind of like a April-May wrap-up video, but also whilst I get ready because I have only a certain amount of time to film this. The idea kind of came to me as I was led there waiting to get ready, and I was like, you know what, I should probably just film a video whilst I do this. Let's go all the way back to when I finished The Well of Ascension. So I finished The Well of Ascension on the 25th of April. So I probably haven't vlogged or spoken to you at least since then. The Well of Ascension was very, very good. I enjoyed it. I think I rated it 4.5 stars. It was a whole ordeal. Very political, very I was very intrigued in how it was all going to play out. The Well of Ascension may be my least favourite in the 3 that I'm reading. I think I will carry on to read the rest of this series. I don't think I'll just stop. However, I don't know if I will pick it up as quickly as maybe I would have The Hero of Ages. I think it's called The Lost Metal or something, unless The Hero of Ages finishes insanely and I just have to know what happens next, which could well be the case. It might be that I end up sort of slowly reading the rest of the series throughout the year rather than back to back reading each book. Anyway, The Well of Ascension was very good. I very much enjoyed it. It was, like I said, very political, very intriguing. I really wanted to know what was happening next throughout all of it because I just couldn't see how they were going to solve their situation with the information we were given. And yeah, alas, it's not really a spoiler to say that we got through it because we know that there's another book. It was so cool to see how the book kind of played out, who we got to see, and the relationships developing from just Mistborn. So yeah, I really enjoyed The Well of Ascension. Moving on to... yeah, I started The Hero of Ages the very next day, and let me get to Hero of Ages in a minute. We then also picked up the rest of The Right Move. So we started The Right Move 23rd of April, and I finished it on the 29th of April. So it took me 3 days to read The Right Move. And that is the second book in the Windy City Warriors, or the Windy City series. And that is a Liz Tomforde. I think it's Tomforde? Liz Tomforde series. I ate this series up. So I read The Right Move in 3 days. I started Caught Up the very same day, finished it 4 days later. So that was Caught Up. I then started Play Along a couple days later, finished that 3 days later again, and then I didn't realise that Rewind It Back I was waiting for Rewind It Back to come out, but it came out 2 days after I finished, what was the other one called? Play Along. So I finished Play Along. I went to go down Rewind It Back and it was on pre-order and I was like, no! And then I realised I'd finished Play Along on the 19th of May, and I think Rewind It Back came out on the 20th or the 21st, so I only had to wait a couple of days and I was very pleased with myself. that I'd managed to work out like that. So I had like 2 days break and then I could pick up Rewind It Back. And I ended up finishing Rewind It Back in like 2 sittings. I started it on the 25th and finished it on the 26th. So I did a big read. It probably only took me like 6 hours to finish the book. But I did a couple hour read the night before, and then the next morning I pretty much woke up and read the book straight through again. So I finished it in like 2 sittings with a sleep in between. It was very good. I enjoyed that whole series. I thought the romances were so cute. I thought the way they told the stories was great. It was like focused on the flaws of the characters, but like there was still a little bit of plot. We got to see all the other characters from the rest of the series, which is one of the things I love about romance series and like continuations. Like they can be standalone, but you could also just read the whole series and love all the characters. So yeah, I've completely demolished the Windy City series by Liz Tomforde. I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a next romance series, kind of like the Elsie Silver series, kind of like Lila Sage and things like that, or obviously if you've read Liz Tomforde before, picking it back up again, I'd say Rewind It Back is definitely worth a reread. I'd probably honestly reread all of their stories. I think the weakest for me is always the first in the series, whereas I find other people always love the first book in the series more because it's like the initial connection. But for me, I think the like later books and the middle books are always the strongest books for me, because it's when I'm interested enough to know what's happening next, and it's not feeling like, oh, I've heard this story before. But I also feel enough connection from the other characters that I'm like deeply involved. I think it's why I love fanfic so much, because I don't need to relearn my characters, and like I don't need to relearn what they've been through and everything. I just have to have all of that love for them and continue it forward. And that's why I think I love fanfic so much. Moving on to, okay, let's probably go back to The Hero of Ages. So I started The Hero of Ages on the 26th of April. I've still not finished it. I've kind of realised that I was reading too fast, and this is one of these books where everyone says it's like God tier. So I didn't want to be like zipping through it and like not enjoy the experience of reading the book, because like when it's your like favourite book or like your favourite series, or it's like a God tier book, you wish you could read it for the first time again. And I've realised that so many of these books I've just zipped through, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could read that for the first time again. So with Hero of Ages, I'm taking my time, I'm letting it marinate, I'm like craving to go back to the book, and that's when I pick it back up again, rather than thinking like, okay, I've got to get through pages so I can talk about it in a vlog. But alas, I am still filming my Mistborn vlog. So you will hopefully get to see that soon enough. I know I've been teasing it for like months now, but again, like I said, I'm just trying to enjoy the series and not like pound it through so I can make a video about it. So The Hero of Ages is going very well so far. There is so much connection and love and adoration for these characters, and like, I don't want to spoil things, but like one of the characters that has just gone back to their home and talked to the homeland and things is now, I think, on their way back to some of our main characters, and I'm so excited for that reunion. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm excited. And this is in The Hero of Ages. So yeah, I'm about 38% of the way into Hero of Ages right now, and loving it. I won't say much more than that, because again, we're like in the very middle of this series of books, so there's not too much I can say without spoiling things. But a lot of characters I adore, a lot of hardship, but I'm very excited for some reunions to happen. We are then moving on to, when did I start this book? So I went to one of my local bookshops and picked up Welcome to the Hyunamdong Bookshop, and I started this on the 22nd of May. I ended up finishing it on the 28th, so like maths, 6 days, I think. This book was so good. I am definitely going to reread this, and I think it's going to be one that I definitely recommend to people. It was just so wholesome, so like mindset inspired, but like in the way that I love mindset to be talked about. Like obviously I'm a mindset coach, so, or I teach on mindset with coaching, and hearing the way that was framed and like talking about the mindset that you have and like the way you live your life and your relationship to work and your relationship to enjoyment and your relationship to joy, talking about it in this way in the Hyunamdong Bookshop just hit the spot for me. Like it made me cry, it made me laugh, I felt so connected to the characters. I want to visit the bookshop personally. I'd also love to own a bookshop like that. Like that kind of bookshop is like my my creme de la creme. I would adore to own a place like that once in my life at least. And I really resonated with the struggles of the character of like, okay, how long am I going to be able to keep this enterprise going? Am I going to be able to afford staff? Am I going to be able to progress this? Am I going to be deemed successful or not? Like, I just really related in all of those ways to like building your own business, building something that you're so passionate about and wondering if the local community are going to accept it. Like, there's just so many aspects of Welcome to the Hyunamdong Bookshop that warmed my heart and I loved it. So if you have space in your TBR and you haven't read it yet, I definitely recommend if this is sounding like a little bit of you. One of the things I didn't love so much was just that it didn't exactly end the way that I wanted it to. I wanted a little bit more at the ending, but I think for the subtlety of the characters and the way they've presented so far, it made so much sense. So like, it's a me thing that I have an issue with that. It's not a fault of the book at all. It's just I wish for my selfish joy that there was a little bit more of two characters and like how their situation's going to progress. But like in the context of the book, it makes so much sense that the book ended how it did. So yeah, there is that, but by no means does it take away from like the overall joy of reading this book. So yeah, that was a 4.5 star read from me, and it probably could have been a 5-star, but I think it's just got to marinate. I think sometimes with my 5-star reads, like things just have to marinate. It has to be like, how much do I want to reread this book? How often do I recommend this? Like, am I craving to reread it straight away? That's like a lot of what my 5-star kind of can come down to if it's not an immediate like, wow, like Purple Hibiscus, wow, 5-star read. But like Welcome to the Hyunamdong, I can't speak now. This book, it's like, okay, I really enjoyed it, but does 5-star make sense for the level of joy? And honestly, probably yeah. I think I just bitched out a little bit by giving it a 4.5. I might go back and change that, like thinking about it and talking about it out loud now. However, it was a great read. So moving on, we picked up Jade City. Actually, I think we picked up Jade City before Hyunamdong Bookshop. Anyway, 20th of May, we picked up Jade City, and I'm still reading it now on, I think I'm filming this today, the 31st. I've intermittently picked it up. I'm 16% of the way through, so it's been like a fair while. I haven't got into it yet. I think that's my problem. However, I've been mostly mood reading, and I've been fairly busy the last 2 weeks. So like when I've been picking up a book, it's been what I really want to read. And at the moment, Jade City, that just isn't it. Partly probably because I'm only 16% of the way into it, and partly because I don't know if the plot of this book is a little bit too similar to me reading Mistborn, and Mistborn is so great that I'm like, okay, we're talking about like metals, we're talking about powers, like we're talking about a magic system. I don't know if it's a little bit too close to Mistborn, so like when I'm wanting fantasy, I'll pick up Mistborn, not necessarily Jade City right now. So I think that's a bit of my issue. However, it's for a reading vlog, so we will continue nonetheless, and I'll probably talk to you more about Jade City in that reading vlog rather than this one. And lastly, I resumed King of Scars, and it is my physical read for the moment. So I read Welcome to the Hyunamdong Bookshop in the physical as well, and right here on my bedside table I've got King of Scars. I picked up King of Scars again, so I'm pretty excited to reread this one. Not reread, pick this one back up. I think I only got to like that far in, so I really didn't crack into this too much, but it's got some of my favourite characters from the previous series in Leigh Bardugo's Grishaverse, so I think I'm gonna love this. But I just haven't really cracked into it. I tried to pick it up in January when I first bought it, and I think again, at that point I was just reading Mistborn, so it was like, it was a lot. So I think I'm gonna pick this up again. Am I being ambitious by reading King of Scars, Jade City, and The Hero of Ages all at once? Probably. Am I still going to do it? Yes, because I like to overwhelm myself. No, I'm kidding. I don't have any issues with plot crossovers. Like, I paused this for like 3 months and I've picked up right where I left off, and I'm like, oh, I immediately know what's happening. So I don't know how people can't do that, but for me, easy. So yeah, I'm reading this one. I need to read after this Memphis, because that's part of another reading vlog, and I've got a bunch of books on my digital TBR. Like, my Kindle is chock-a-block, many things downloaded, many things to pick up on, so we are going to have a very interesting June in terms of reading. But definitely King of Scars, Jade City and The Hero of Ages are first on my list to be finished. I think I will try, not promising, to pause anything maybe other than Wild and Wrangled. I'll try and pause on picking up any new series and things until I get to that point where I've at least tackled maybe King of Scars or Jade City or The Hero of Ages and have a little bit more space in my reading time. But I'm such a mood reader that it's so hard. But anyway, that is the gist pretty much of what I'm reading. I will come back to you in a moment with hair and fully makeup done, just so you can see the final look as you've sat here with me and done my makeup. But that is pretty much it in terms of books. I don't want to keep you here too long with me just yapping. So I will see you in a second. This is the finished look. Thank you so much for getting ready with me and having a little chat about books. Let me know what you're reading right now, what you would recommend that I pick up in June, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.